Hello again. So it's almost coming to the end of the year. And according to plan, I should have been posting a video a week. However, there were certain weeks where I have not been able to post videos. So I kind of gave myself this little sort of year-end challenge that I would start posting a few more videos to make up for the weeks that I hadn't been able to post. So you might end up having a few more videos before 2023 ends. And let's see how it goes. And in that way, I hope to keep to the weekly challenge in a sense that what I had sort of foreseen that however many weeks I will complete by the end of the year, hopefully I shall be able to do that. So on that note, let's begin. We are currently on week 16 of our practice, and it's a shorter sequence this week. And I can already let you know, since I've been looking at the sequences, that week 17 is almost double the amount of asanas that we will have today. And perhaps it's more to create a sense of consolidation and focus on a fewer asanas, but to do them with clarity. And perhaps it is also for you to remember all the points that you have learned so far if you have been following. So let's begin. As always, take a comfortable seat. Bring the fingertips close to the side of the body. As you press the fingers down, lift the waistline, lift the sides of the chest. Take your outer shoulders back, bringing your upper arms closer towards the spine. Maintaining the lift and length of your spine, bring the palms of the hand, let it touch. As you let the palms of the hand touch, softly close your eyes. Bring your attention to the sensations of the body. Begin to observe the natural flow of breath. Normal soft inhale and exhale. And then, as always, we start reciting 3 Oms. Take a deep inhale. Yogena chitasya padena vacham malam sharirasya chavaidakenam yopa karutam pravaram muninam patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi abahu purushakaram shankha chakra siddharinam sahasra shirasam shvetam pranamami patanjalim. Harihi Om. Take another deep, slow, long inhale and exhale. Gently lower your head down. Release the hands, place them back on your legs, and begin to lift your head up. Okay, so let's come up into Samasthiti. I'm going to take my 2 blocks and keep it ready because we will be having a few poses after, so you too can do that. Start by positioning yourself on the center of your mat. Evenly spread the bottom of the feet, becoming aware of the right foot, the left foot, bringing the right side, the left side closer towards the midline, taking the outer shoulders back, stretching the elbows, standing tall, standing straight, becoming alert, becoming aware, conscious of this moment. Become aware of the natural flow of breath. Keep your eyes steady, throat soft. Let's start with Utthita Trikonasana. Bring your hands in the center. Bend your knees. Jump and spread your legs out. Stretch your arms out from the center of the chest. Turn your entire right leg out completely, turning at the knee, turning the inner knee to the outer knee. Stamp the outer edge of your left heel. Lift both sides of the chest from the hip, keeping the right outer hip into the body. Elongate the right waistline. Go down. Place your hand on your shin bone or your leg, wherever it's possible. Keep your right outer hip in. Turn from the right waistline to the left. Turn from the right armpit to the left. Use your left upper arm to lift the left side of the chest up. At the same time, keep your left heel firm. Keep your left inner knee moving back. Now use the top arm. Inhale and come up. Turn your right foot back to neutral. Toes pointing straight again. Spreading from the center of the chest. Turn your left leg out completely. Turn the left inner knee to the outer knee. Press the outer edge of your right heel. Keep the right ankle back so the weight is heavy on the right heel. Keep extending the left side of the waistline. As you go down, stretch your left armpit long. Bring your left hand on your left shin bone. Here too, focus your attention to see that your left outer hip comes in. The left inner knee goes to the outer knee, moving the left hip back, lengthening the left side of the abdomen, turning from the left to the right. Keep reaching with your right upper arm. Keep your right heel firmly grounded on the floor. Now use the top arm. Inhale and come up. Turn your toes in, jump, come back to Samasthiti or Uttarasana. Once more, join your big toes, take your outer shoulders back, stretch your upper arms, stretch your wrist, focus on your inner knees, moving them back, drawing the outer hip bones in. Utthita Parsvakonasana. So once more, bringing the hands in the center, bend your knees, jump and spread your legs out. Stretch your arms out from the center of the chest. Turn your right leg out completely. Press the outer edge of the left heel firm. Keep your left thigh lifting. Take a deep inhale and with an exhalation, bending your right knee. Going down from the hip, at the same time watching that the right knee doesn't go beyond your right ankle. Elongate the right side of your chest. Go down as close as you can to the thigh. Adjust your block in a way that you can press your hand on it and turn from the right waistline to the left, right side of the chest to the left, and reach the left upper arm over your head. Create a straight line from the hip all the way up into the fingertips. At the same time, from your left outer hip, press down through the left outer edge of the heel. Revolve your torso, elongate the right side of the chest. If you can turn your head, look up at your inner armpit. Now use the top arm. Inhale and come up. Turn your toes. Once more, have a quick check to see your feet are in line. Draw the thighs into the hip. Open the chest by stretching your arms actively, tightening the upper arms, extending through the fingers. Now turn your whole left leg out completely, turning the left knee, the thigh. Stamp the outer edge of your right heel, and with an exhalation, bending your front leg. Now keep your left knee into the hip. Don't let it go forward. Draw the left outer hip in as you extend the whole left side of your body, going down, placing your hand on the block as needed. At the same time, use the left inner knee to the outer knee. Move the left side of the chest to the right. Rotate your right upper arm. Keep the outer shoulder in as you stretch the arm. As you're in the pose, be watchful of the right inner knee. Lift it. See that the right thigh stays back and stretch from the right waistline to the fingers. Keep the left side of the body low, close. At the same time, turning your chest, moving the arm, extending it, elongating both sides of the torso. Now use the top arm. Inhale and come up. Turn your toes in. And let's jump and come back to Tadasana. Once more, joining your big toes, shifting your weight back into the heels, getting your outer thigh bones in, moving our inner thighs back, remembering to spread the back of the thighs. So we spread the muscle from the inner to the outer thigh, so the inner thighs stay back. At the same time, the outer hips come in close, the outer shin bones come in close, compacting our legs, and that helps to move and lift the front hip bones up, spreading the collarbones, elbows straight, extending all the way into the forearms. Observe the breath, normal soft inhale and exhale. Now from here, we are going to go for Virabhadrasana 1. So I'm going to move the blocks out of the way. So stand with your feet together. Bring your hands in the center. Bend your knees. Jump and spread your legs out. Rotate your upper arms. Keep the upper arm bones in. Lengthening the sides of the chest. Reach up, stretch up. Turning yourself to the right side. So first here we'll have to turn our left foot more. See that the foot has turned. It's important to turn the foot, otherwise it's impossible to turn our hip. So turn the foot, but keep a lift of the thigh up into the hip and retaining the outer hip in. Maintaining this, we start revolving. Remember this action, back of the thigh turning, that helps us in rotation. Then turn your right leg completely. As you move your left inner thigh back, rotating from the back of the thigh, stamping the leg. Now try to turn your right hip forward. Right hip back, left hip forward. At the same time, lift and lengthen both sides of your torso and begin to bend your front leg. As you bend your front leg, you have to again focus your attention to see that the pubic bone is coming upward. The chest is lifting upward. The arms are stretching up. At the same time, you can descend your hips down. Keep your awareness on the outer edge of your left heel. Press it. Turn from the back of your left thigh so that the muscle on the back of the thigh turns, the chest turns, and you look straight. Reach up with the arms. Now pressing into the legs. Straighten your front leg. Turn your chest. Toes pointing straight. Relax your hands for a moment. Resetting your feet again, seeing that your toes are in line. Spread your arms out from the center of the chest. Stretching the upper arms. Rotate your upper arm. Maintain this rotation as you lift and stretch your arms up. Lift both sides of the torso. Now turn your right foot in. Remember to turn that right foot. Keep your right inner knee back. Turn from the back of your right thigh. Turn your left foot, left thigh. Draw the left thigh back. Stretch your left leg long so the left hip is not forward. Keeping it back, that helps you to revolve the back leg as you turn your back of the thigh. Calf muscle stretches down towards the heels, maintaining the lift of the torso. Go down, bending the front leg to a 90-degree angle. As you're here in the pose again, turn from the right waistline to the left, right armpit to the left, and reach up, stretch up. Pay attention to your right inner knee. Lift it and stamp it strongly into the floor. Now inhale and come up. Turn your chest facing forward. Turn your foot and jump the legs back. Once more, pause here. Taking the outer shoulders back, spreading the collarbones, stretching your upper arms, extending through the forearms, keeping your weight heavy on the heels, bringing your outer thigh bones in, inner knees back. Now we are going to go for Prasarita Padottanasana. So once more, bring your hands in the center, bend your knees, jump and spread your legs out. A good distance, the usual for our standing poses. Getting the outer thigh bones in, moving them back, maintaining this action, lifting the inner thighs, lifting the inner ankles, stamping the outer edges of the heels. Take a deep inhale and with an exhalation, going down from the hip, bring your hands directly underneath the shoulders, roll your upper arms, draw the shoulder blades into the back, and then lengthen from the belly forward, chest forward. Be firm on the outer edges of your heels. Pull up your thighs. Now start walking your hands, maintaining this extension in line with your feet. Then bend your elbows as you let your torso go down towards the floor. Walk your hands back so that you're in line with your feet as much as possible. Bring your outer elbows in. Let the crown of your head go down. Even the back crown of the head go through. Lift your shoulders. At the same time, let the head go down. So with the help of the arms, we bring your outer upper arms in. Lift the shoulders. Let the crown go down. Tighten your knees. Press the outer edges of the heels. Spread the back of your thigh. That inner thigh goes back as it rotates. So that spreads the hamstrings. Let the back release. At the same time, keep the lift of the shoulders. Remember to keep your knees firm, thighs pulling up to the hip. Now begin to look forward. Walk your hands forward once more, directly underneath the shoulders. You can step your legs a little bit closer. Strongly press into the outer edges of the heels. Bring your hands on the hip. Inhale and come up. Jump your legs back and come back into standing. We are going to do Adho, Mukha, Svanasana from here. So you can turn around, bring your hands down, spread the palms of the hand, have a good connection with the hands, step your legs back, take a good distance. It's important that even if your heels don't touch, and again in the Iyengar method, it's not about just the heels touching, it's an extension of the torso. So you have to be firm on the hands, you have to lift your elbows, lift your upper arms, lift the inner shoulders, rolling the outer shoulders down. Now, once you've got the arms, you stretch the armpit. Then you try to take your awareness to the legs. So we can lift our heels up to get the hip to lift. Once the hip has lifted, try to keep the hip long, but tightening your frontal thigh bones, move the sacrum back. And that's what takes the legs down over time. You keep pulling the thighs into the hip, lifting the shin bones to the knees, and then stretching the calf muscle down. At the same time, keeping the upper arms tight, you can move the shoulder blades in, letting the head go down, but the legs stay firm. Keep the elbows firm. Now look forward, walk forward, and come up into standing. Next, we repeat Chaturanga Dandasana. We've done it in a few ways. So you can use the bolster, you can use no prop, or you can just do it from the floor. So let's do one with the block. So this is a little bit more challenging than using the bolster, and the block is placed close to your pelvis. And we did it for our last week, but you can repeat it. So you have to first keep your knees down. You layer your pelvis in such a way so it's resting on the block, and you lower yourself down. Now, first, to position yourself, you bring your hands close to the sides of the body. You lift your knees up, stretch your legs, and then you lift your chest. So this is where we have to work on the strength of the body. We lift our inner knees, spread the back of the thighs, stretch and make your legs straighter and straighter. Same connection, thighs are lifting into the hip socket, buttocks moving in. As you look forward, pull the shoulders towards the elbows, bring your upper arms close, and stay here. The abdomen wants to drop, draw the abdomen into the body. So there is a lift from the abdominal band rather than dropping and trying to lift from the neck and shoulders. Yeah, so there's a difference. Imagine a bolster. So it's keeping your front ribs in, stretching the legs. Now lower the knees and come up. So I'll explain this section a little bit more. It's the front bottom ribs here. So those need to stay a little bit into the body so that we can get access into this lower kidney band area. And that, creating this extension, tailbone in, creates a kind of firm lifting connection in the body. Now let's try and see that happen in Chaturanga Dandasana from the floor. So if you're going to lift from the floor, and you can always try it, you're lying down on the floor, right? So first, we bring our hands close to the sides of the body. See that your shoulders are lifting and your shoulders are going towards the elbows. Then you curl the toes under. You definitely have to activate your legs. So lifting the inner thigh, stretching the legs. Now, when you're about to come up, the work is from the abdominal band. So this front rib and this lower back is what lifts up. So you can think of the front ribs going towards the front hip bones as you lift your abdomen up. Then the chest lifts, but it's the abdominal band here which is doing most of the work. And then down. So let's do that one more time. Bring your hands close, stretch your legs. Feel when you extend your tailbone. So you see the tailbone extends, the thighs lift, the belly starts to lift automatically. This is the action. And then down. Okay, so that's definitely hard work here, but it's this action here where we extend our sacrum and we learn to lift this up. And then this area becomes a firm, connected spot, which helps to lift as opposed to a dropping pelvis. Okay, so continuing on, let us go from Chaturanga Dandasana to Dandasana. So we keep our legs straight, connect your outer shins bones, you're drawing your thighs in, you're drawing your outer lower leg in. Observe your knees. Try to descend your inner knees down. You can relax your foot. Don't be hard on the foot. But usually there's a lot of tightness which pulls us in different ways. So of course you can sit higher on support. At the same time, stretching your legs long, bringing your hands close to the side of the body, extending through the feet. The more you hug the outer thighs in, there's a compactness on the pelvis which helps you to lift the lower pelvis up. Keep stretching your inner legs. Make them long. Press down. Remember how hard you worked the legs in Dandasana. So try to engage the legs and lift your chest up, keeping your shoulders back. So this is Dandasana. Now from Dandasana, let us go directly to Navasana. So stretch your arms straight in front of you, lean back with your chest, and lift your legs up. So as you lift your legs up, here too, you can draw the front ribs down towards the abdomen, tailbone in, and extend through the arms. So the legs are stretching, make your legs straight, lift the chest, elbows tight. Navasana. So taking a couple of breaths, normal soft inhale and exhale. You also know that it's not possible for you to straighten your legs. You can work on the pose in this manner, lifting from the abdomen, drawing the front ribs back into the body, moving the tailbone in will already give you a solid framework. So you're controlling this. It's in a way leading from Chaturanga Dandasana to this, that again we move the tailbone in, we keep the front ribs down, and then you can stretch, keeping your arms extended, shoulders back, heels moving in towards the sitting bones. Arms parallel to the floor though. Now relax. Let's do one more. Full leg stretching. Keep your legs in Dandasana. Stretch your arms. Bring yourself back. And lift your legs up in Navasana. Again, front ribs, tailbone, stretching your legs, upper arms tight. Then down. Okay, so from Navasana, now we move into Parvatasana in Virasana. So you can sit on the floor or you can also use a block. I'm going to use a block for Virasana. So placing the block between the buttocks, keeping the knees pointing straight, pressing the tops of the feet down, lifting the waistline, rolling the outer shoulders back. As you press the tops of the feet down, now stretch your arms straight in front of you, interlace the hands, turning the palms out, keep your outer elbows in, try to spread the palms of the hand, and with an inhalation, go ahead and stretch your arms up. So here as well, have a quick look to see that the tops of the feet are pressing, lift the waistline up, lift the side armpit chest up, extending the spine, try to roll the inner shoulders back and down, outer shoulders in, and stretch and lengthen the whole spine up. Try to stretch your inner upper arms longer and longer. And once you've got that extension, taking your upper arms back, moving the shoulder blades in. Now bring your hands down. Parvatasana in Virasana, the other side. So change the clasp of your hands. Have a good connection. Turning the palms out, elbows tight, spreading through the palms of the hand, keeping the elbows firm. With an inhalation, go ahead and stretch your arms. Again, make your upper arm bones long. Lift the sides of the chest. Lift your forearms. Turn the palms up towards the ceiling. At the same time, see your fingers stay together. Press the tops of the feet. Press your hips down. And take your upper arms back. Move the shoulder blades in. Then bring your hands down. Now you can do Supta Virasana. You can take a bolster, or you can even do it lying down flat if you're able to. So I'm going to do one free without any props. So you have the option, but of course you can always take props as needed. So we sit in Virasana, and this Supta Virasana is to stretch our legs out. So again, focusing on extending our sacrum. Keep the extension of the sacrum so the frontal thighs get more stretch. Your front hip bones are not sinking. You can use your arms, use your forearms. Stop here for a moment. Again, extend. Keeping the outer shin bones in, then you lay back, adjusting yourself to see here that you're in the pose. If you find you're really tight or you're lifted, you definitely need more height. In this position, it's not like our lumbar spine flattens, it stays, but you have to be able to extend the sacrum in the direction of the knees so that you get a stretch on the frontal thigh bones, the front hip bones start to lift, the tailbone stays into the body. To further stretch the front of the body, reach your arms long, extending from the abdomen, from the upper arms into the fingers. Keep the tops of the toes pressing down. Move the middle of the buttock in. Stretch the sides of the chest. Definitely, I can feel a deep stretch on the front of my thighs. Moving the tailbone in. Pressing the tops of the feet. Now slowly bring your hands back to the side, press into the tops of the feet, and come up. So from here, we are going to go for Baddhakonasana. So you can sit. Again, once more, you sit on the height that's necessary. Bring the heels close as much as possible to the groin. You can even take one foot in, the other foot in. Place your hands alongside the support so that it helps you, whatever support you are using, so that your pelvis can come more forward. And as the pelvis comes forward, use your hands to keep the hip moving forward in the direction of the feet. You can even open your feet from the inside out, so the skin here stretches, and that further helps you to take the knees down. So of course, this takes time and practice. So sometimes we might have to use height. So please do what's needed for you so that you can stretch the inner thighs out and keep the pelvis lifting, taking the outer shoulders back, chest open. Baddhakonasana. Keep stretching from this inner groin to the inner knee. It's going this direction. The thigh is rolling down, so it descends. This skin descends down. So you have to think about the muscle rolling out. At the same time, this also rolls in the opposite direction. So it's like two lines going in two opposite directions. And if you think about that and you create that rotation, you will find how the legs open more. The hip begins to lift up. So the hip usually goes in this way, causing the spine to round. So once the legs go into the hip, the front hip lifts, and you can lift your chest. Shoulders back. Now from here, we are going to go for Upavista Konasana. So simply stretch your legs out. Again, you need to take more height. If you find your pelvis is collapsing or your lower back is sinking, then you need to sit higher. Whatever height you need, needs to see that your belly button is not dropping back. So the height should enable you to lift your abdomen up. Yet you can focus on pressing the inner knees down, stretching your legs long, place your hands on the side, shoulders back, extending the inner knees, pushing the frontal thighs down, Upavista Konasana. Again, these are poses to be repeated, and as we practice, the body changes. So patiently giving yourself a period of weeks, repeating the pose and then noticing the change. There will be change if you keep repeating and practicing. Work on stretching your legs, Work on pushing the thighs down. Keep your outer thighs in. Lift your pelvis. Take the shoulders back. Upavista Konasana. Now relax, and then we are going to go for Bharadvajasana. So you can bring your legs close. I'm going to take a blanket for Bharadvajasana and also a block. So I take a blanket and a block for my hand. So again, you can use the blanket to the right height so that your pelvis is level. So first starting out in Dandasana, bend your legs over to your left side. As you bend the legs over to the left side, the ankle rests on the arch of the foot. You can use your blanket to elevate your hips. So you can see how the hips are uneven right now. And this is not good to do because already the spine is in this stage. And if we turn, then it's not good for our spine, which is why you have to take care to see that your pelvis is level first. After your pelvis is levelized, then you can see both sides of your waistline are long on a very stable surface. Then turning it is possible. So now come forward, take you're turning to the right side. So your left arm can grab the knee, the thigh, press your knee down to give it the leverage. Use that leverage to turn your abdomen, turn your chest. As you turn, at the same time, see that you're not falling forward. Keep the hip level. Turn from the left side of the waistline to the right, left side of the armpit to the right. Use your hands to turn. Chin up, chest up. There's also an arm variation in this. If you can take your arm and hold the upper arm, so it brings our shoulder blades closer. So this opening, the shoulder blades tend to go this way, and this brings our shoulder blades in. Then you grab your arm and you hold, and you maintain the back ribs in, moving your shoulder back, gripping and turning the chest. This helps us to learn this back rib action, where we have to learn to move the back ribs away from the arm. You can see this is my hand. This is my back rib going into the arm. As I'm holding here, I'm trying to bring my back rib away from the arm. So that teaches my back ribs to move and turn. Now relax. Straighten your legs back to Dandasana. And then we take our legs over to the right side, bending the legs. Bring your blanket, place it in such a way so your hips are level again. Adjusting your pelvis, descending your right outer hip down. Sometimes we can find ourselves tilted more. So you'll have to see that your right outer hip is in. So you can tuck it in and descend the calf muscle down. See that your hips are level before you begin. Now you can take your right arm forward. You hold on to the outside of your left knee and you can bend down a little bit. This grip and this pushing down will help. Now from here, in this low position itself, you can turn from the right side of the waistline to the left. So I'm kind of creating this rotation this direction, and then I come up. And as I come up, then I can also swing as I said, first part, let's just do it without the arms. So create the rotation, rolling the shoulder back, bringing the upper arms in, not moving back, revolving the chest. Turn from the center of the chest, turn from your right side of the waistline to the left, the right side of the chest to the left. And what about the arm action? So here as well, you can take your arm back. So you can draw your arms, hold if you can grab your upper arm, rolling the shoulder so the chest stays open. Then you go down and grip again. So straighten your arm and then turning the back ribs. So this way you're moving your left side back And your right side comes forward and the right back rib moves into the body. At the same time, descend your right outer hip so your hips don't lift. Turning your chest. Now relax. That is quite an intense twist, I'm sure. But now that we have mobilized a bit more of our back ribs, we are ready for Salamba Sirsasana. So go ahead. I'm going to use the blanket today. So I'm going to use the blanket right here. Place it. Flattening it. Once more, you have a good interlace. Remember, we keep the interlace a cup shape. Don't be too gripping with your fingers. There is a dome shape of the fingers. At the same time, your elbows have to be within the framework of your shoulders, and there is a rotation of the upper arm, which keeps the arms in line, right? So when you are going down, I sometimes, as I've said before, I use the edge of the blanket to make sure my shoulder elbows stay in line. When you place the crown of your head down, stay more to the back of the crown. In a way, your ears are the indicator. If it's this way, then you know you're too much to the forehead and you want to be more on the crown, back crown of your head. Firmly press your forearms down. Keep the weight on the inner elbows. Lift the shoulders. You can just practice this action, lifting the shoulders, letting your head go down. If you want to go more, then you can again lift your knees, walk your legs in. You can go up with knees bent. Some people find it easy to go up with knees bent. You keep in and you move the knees back. And you can stay here, pressing your forearms, buttocks in, and then straighten your legs up. Once you're here in the pose, try to see if you can get that Chaturanga action, which was what? The front ribs, which tend to hang. You have to lift them up towards the hip bones. At the same time, draw the tailbone in. This solidifies the mid section of your torso. So press your forearms down. Keep the front ribs lifting up. Buttocks in. Spread the back of the thighs. Keep the tailbone in. And stretch your legs like you did in Dandasana. You have to make your legs really strong. As much as you have to push your forearms, you have to extend your inner legs, extend your heels, keep the outer hips in, moving the sacrum in, the buttocks in, and keep the front ribs lifting to the pelvis. Stay here for as long as you can keep it. When you feel any neck or shoulder issues happening, please come down. Sirsasana, you're just in the 16th week of your practice. It takes a long time to get good in Sirsasana, but at least we try. We do what is possible every time, and then slowly over the time, we become better. You can balance against the wall. You can keep your legs resting on the wall. So that way you can be in the pose. Reason I'm showing you from the side is so you can see all the actions, and even if you're practicing with your heels to the wall, you can continue doing these. Forearms down, lifting shoulders, front ribs back, buttocks in, knees straight, legs straight. Stretch your heels. Now you're going to come down so you can bend your knees and then come down. Rest here for a few moments. Normal soft inhale and normal soft exhale. Now slowly come up, and then we are going to go for our Sarvangasana sequence. So you can take a little break, pause the video. I will also get my props and we join in again. So I can use the belt to measure to my outer shoulders, and a way to also consider how the belt would be is when you take your arms, you want your arms to stay within the framework of the shoulders, but you should also be able to rotate and get the outer shoulders down. Yeah, so both have to happen, because then that way you can secure the shoulders well in place on the blankets, and because that is the root of the pose. So if your shoulders are slipping, then you end up on a different portion of the neck, and so that stays. And also the belt helps us. Supposing we shift over to one side, it helps to keep our arms in line with the shoulders. Okay, so I measured my belt in that way, and then I take my belt, I keep it to the side, and then I'm going to go into Sarvangasana. So same thing, I adjust, I see that my head is down, my neck can be on the edge of the blankets, I keep my belt ready on the side, and then I can press my hands on the mat, roll my legs over to Halasana, keep walking your legs. You have to move your hips more in so you have a good lift of the back. Then once you're more on the shoulders, you really want to end up on the top of the shoulders. That's important. So there's more lift of the shoulder blades. That helps you to lift more. So you then take your arms and you rotate and you try and get these outer shoulders down first. Then again, reach your forearms, reach your upper arms. Make the elbows firm, the outer elbows firm. And then when you bend your hands, again, you try to not keep it so high. Try to take your hands lower down your back, really learning to lift the shoulder blades. Then you can hold your back and stretch your legs up one at a time. Of course, if your legs don't have so much openness, you can have your legs higher on a chair. Stretch your legs, knees tight, and then we stay in Sarvangasana. Again, here too, we have to stretch our legs like in Dandasana. Make your knees firm, your thighs firm. Keep lifting your back. Make the root of your pose firm, which is your elbows. Be heavy on the elbow side, not taking your legs too far forward. It is easy to do this, but it puts a lot of pressure on the neck over time. Whereas we want to take our whole thigh back, move the buttock in, inner knees back, and stretch our spine long. We learn to lift the back of the body as we stay in the pose. Keep your weight on the elbows, lift the tailbone in, stretch your legs. Back ribs move in. Like these are the back ribs. They sink, right? So this is what takes the legs forward. So we have did Bharadvajasana. I'm just trying to bring a connection. Lifting that back rib, moving it in, helps you to stay lifted up. Moving the outer shoulders down, elbows pressing, knees straight. Stretch your inner legs longer. Stretch from the inner knees to the inner ankles. Straighten your knees. Trying to hold a little bit longer than usual. Keep stretching your legs. Let's do 30 seconds to half a minute longer.
Now slowly take your legs down to Halasana. Keep the knees straight. You can take your belt out now. At the same time, see that your shoulders are down. Lift from the shoulder blades back, extending the spine. This is the Halasana work. Inner knees lifted, thighs pulling into the hip and not letting the hip drop. Can you still keep the outer hips up? Can you still lift the inner knees? The frontal thigh bones go touch the hamstring muscle. And that means you have to lift your spine from the back, from the middle, from the sacrum. Now begin to bend your knees. You can have your knees on either side of your ears. You can put your arms alongside your legs. Stay here for a few moments in Karnapindasana. Moving the knees in line with your ears. You can press the tops of the feet. Now slowly begin to roll yourself out. You can hold your pelvis and then come down. Don't try to roll up too quickly. Just be in this position for a few breaths. And then you can turn to the side and come up. Okay, so we are going to start with Supta Padangustasana 1 and 2 on the right side and left side. So please lay down, extend your sacrum, straighten your legs, have a quick look to see your legs are straight, push your inner thighs down, inner knees down, lay down, take your hands on the mat, rolling the outer shoulders down, keeping the frontal thighs pressing down. Now bend your right leg. So I'm going to put my belt around the arch of my right foot, keeping the knee into the hip, keeping your left leg straight, pressing your left inner knee down, stretch your right leg straight up. You can hold the belt in such a way that your elbows are slightly bent, so it helps to open the chest. Stretch your leg, move the root of the thigh back, keep the thigh bone long. And yes, you can move your leg closer, but not by pulling your thigh closer. Please note the difference. Yes, so your thigh stays back, but from here, as we become more open, we can move the leg from this joint of the thigh bone. So the thigh needs to go back and then we can bring the leg closer. But if it's not happening, then it's better for you to work on that first stage of moving the frontal thighs back and stretching the leg. So as you extend your legs, chest open, knees straight, leg straight, left leg straight, right leg straight. Now maintaining this, it's again, this is the outer hip. As it draws down, it moves into the body. When we hold the belt in such a way so that we can hold higher for Supta Padangustasana 2, draw the arms down, keep the legs stretching, and then you take your leg out to the side. As you take your leg out to the side, you have to see that that outer thigh bone is firm. This is in, and stretching the leg as you take your foot out. Don't let your foot drop. Keep the toes up, the outer hips in, and so you can stretch your inner leg. So please note my foot is not dropping. Yeah, so then it drops this way, whereas you want this hip in, down, and stretching your leg long. Keep pulling back with your arm. Make your left leg straight, stretching the foot, keeping a grip, looking straight. Try not to turn your head. And now inhale and come up. Change the legs. First, straighten your feet. See that your toes are in line. Focus your attention on your right thigh bone, drawing it down, stretching your right inner knee long, and then we take the left leg up. And this time you can also observe the action here. So when I put the foot and I begin to take my left leg up, so hopefully the color of the short should give you an idea. This hip shouldn't shorten and this shouldn't drop, right? So both the hip bones are in line here. So that has to be maintained. At the same time, you can press your right inner thigh down. First, we work on straightening the legs. Then maintaining this, keeping the left thigh into the joint of the hip socket. It's from the socket that we stretch and bring our legs. Of course, the hamstrings also play a role. If the muscles are short at the beginning, they will pull you. So you have to be patient as you stretch your legs, working on the pose, but keep your legs straight. It really helps. That is the only way you can change the way your legs are working. That openness will happen. The muscles will become longer. So extend your legs as you keep your knees straight, stretching your inner ankle, inner thigh. Right thigh down, right hip down, right inner leg long. Now hold the belt with your left hand, pull the left shoulder down, take your right hand in line with your shoulder, pressing it down. Don't let your right hip drop. There is a grip here, the thigh bone stays in and it presses down. And as it presses down, then you have to control that as you take your left leg out to the side. Same way, you see that your left inner heel stretches more, left outer hip stays into the body. And looking straight, stretching your leg, keeping your right inner thigh in, stretching your right inner leg long. Supta Padangustasana 2 on the left side. Be firm on this side. If you find yourself turning, you've probably gone too much. So your hips are not yet that open, so you have to hold it and work on it. Now inhale and come up. And then bend your leg. And we are going to come up for Paschimottanasana and Janu Sirsasana. So you can sit facing forward, stretching your legs straight, lifting the sacrum up. Same thinking actually. Your thighs are pulling into the hip. They're descending down. Your inner knees down. Lift and stretch your arms up. Lift the sacrum. Lift the abdomen. Elongate your torso. Go forward. Hold on to the feet. Again, keep the upper arms tight. Inner knees down. Lift your abdomen. Lift the chest. Moving the sacrum in. Moving the dorsal spine in. Lifting that front rib up and away, but descending the thighs down. And you can stay here, maintaining this length of the spine, and then go forward. Elbows up, keep gazing towards the feet, press your thighs down, move that back rib in as you go down. Keep your inner thighs down, lengthening from the lower abdomen, and let your head stay in line with your shoulders, thighs down, arms extended. To stretch your spine long, you have to stretch the side of your armpit long. Keep the feet long, extend. Then if it's possible, let your head go down. Now look up. Bring your hands close to the side and come up. Janu Sirsasana on the right side. bend your right leg. Place your heel close to the inner groin. Move the knee out. And I'm going to, So right leg bends. Your left leg is straight. You're moving the right thigh down. You're lifting your right hip up and turning from the right waistline to the left. Your left inner leg stays firm as you reach your arms up. So first lift up, stretch up. Keep moving your right knee down, right knee back, but then turn your right hip forward, right side of your chest forward as you go forward. So when you're in the pose, the knee goes back and the thigh goes down. But you try to lift your pelvis, turn from the right waistline to the left. So this has to turn. The right ribs have to come down. And then you can go forward. Yeah, so these actions have to happen for the torso to turn. And the more you stretch your elbows, the sides of your armpit get stretched. And then you can go down with your head, extending the ribs. That's Janu Sirsasana. Keep your eyes looking straight. Keep your left leg very straight. Now inhale and come up. I'll turn myself around to show you the other side. So again, both legs are straight. Pushing your thighs down, outer hips down, inner knees down, lifting the pelvis up, lifting the sacrum up. Now bending your left leg. So when you bend your left leg, the heel has to be in the inner groin. So you bring your foot in. You adjust your pelvis to see that you're level. If the hip is dropping, which can be the case sometimes, see that your left outer hip lifts in. Move the left knee back. Roll, keeping that left outer hip in, drawing the left thigh into the hip socket, pressing it down. Then you can even use this other hand to further work this knee down and back as you lift your left pelvis up. And you're turning from the left waistline to the right. This is an important movement first. Until you get this, after you've turned here, then the ribs can turn around, right? So that's why when we go forward, if we end up in this position, we are still shortening. So we have to do these actions. We have to stretch our leg. We have to move the knee back, thigh down, lift that left hip, and turn from the left side of the abdomen to the right. Turn from the center of the ribs, turning this. As we turn, then our chest begins to face in the direction of our right leg. At the same time, your right inner leg is long. Then you use your upper arms to further stretch the sides of the body. So then you can see how the ribs change. And that's what extends the spine. And then you go down. So if you find you're still at a stage where you're tight, just putting your head down is not in use. Work on the same movements. Knee back, hip up, abdomen turning, lift your waistline, lift the chest. So even if you do a pose here, it is better than rounding your back and being in this kind of position. Yeah, so the actions remain the same. Are you moving your knee back and down? Are you lifting your hip up, turning from the left to the right, turning from the left side of the chest and focusing on lifting that front rib up. Yeah, so this is much better. You're going from the hip and you keep working on the, if you stretch your arms again, you can stretch more the sides of the body. Now inhale and come up. Good. Now after you've done Janu Sirsasana, we are going to do Paschimottanasana. Again, legs straight, pressing your thighs down, pressing your outer hips down, lift your abdomen, lift the chest. So both the root of the thighs have to go down. The position just above your knee has to press down. Then you lift your pelvis up, lift the front ribs up as you stretch your arms and go forward. When you're here in the pose, again, we can shrink back. So first you have to think, inner thighs back. So you have to lift this section You have to lift your front ribs, which will go back up. You can use your hands so that the front abdomen stays long. As it stays long, then you can go forward. You can use your arms to stretch your spine and then stay. Keep pressing your inner knees down. Make the front ribs long. Front bottom ribs have to go forward. The thighs have to descend down. So in a way, this is the Uttanasana work. The femur head, this thigh femur actually has to go down to the floor. And as it goes down to the floor, the front abdomen has to stay longer as it goes in the direction of the toes and not shrink back. Now inhale and come up. Okay, so now you can lay down in Shavasana. So come a little bit closer. See that you're on the center of the mat. Bend your knees. Use your hands. Make the back of your neck long by lifting your head. Hold on to the sides of the mat. Roll the outer shoulders down. Turn the palms out. And then one leg at a time. Straightening your legs. Letting your feet fall out to the side. And then just being quiet for a few moments. Relax your shoulders. Relax your legs, your throat, your jaw. Keeping your abdomen soft, your throat soft, your jaw relaxed. Make the palms of your hand heavy. Let them really rest on the floor. Take your attention to your outer shoulders. Let them drop down. Facial muscles soft. Throat soft. Now slowly, one hand at a time, bring it back to your belly. Bend your right knee, your left knee. Gently turning yourself to the right side. Use your left hand to slowly come up.
So let's sit together for a moment. Bring your hands to the center of the chest. Lift your spine up. Take a couple of breaths. Namaste. Have a lovely rest of your day wherever you are, or evening. And thank you.